Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving into a skill that, well, it feels like it should be incredibly basic, right? Like something we just know how to do.
Hmm.
But actually, it's a huge source of anxiety for so many people, especially when you're trying to navigate conversations in English. We're talking about mastering small talk.
It's so true. And the source material we're digging into today, it's really fantastic for tackling this head on. It's this detailed guide, and it's specifically made for English language learners.
Right.
Really designed to, demystify that first step, that hurdle of just starting a conversation.
Exactly. So our mission here really is to pull out the golden nuggets from this guide, the most practical, actionable strategies we can find,
Yeah.
so that you, our listener, can walk away feeling genuinely, well, more confident, more natural next time you need to talk to someone new in English.
Because that feeling, that moment where you want to connect, but you just freeze up, not sure how to even open your mouth.
Yeah, that's the one.
Or maybe you manage a few words, but then you kind of stumble trying to respond. It's pretty universal, actually. But it doesn't have to, dominate your interactions.
And the guide makes this really critical point right at the start. A lot of people avoid small talk because it feels, I don't know, superficial, maybe pointless.
That's pointless. You hear that a lot.
But what it really highlights and what we want to emphasize today is that small talk isn't really the conversation itself. It's more like the gateway.
Gateway. Yeah. The guide calls it the key to starting deeper conversations.
Mhm.
And that's spot on.
You can't build rapport. You can't find common ground if you can't even get that initial connection going, right?
Exactly. Think of it like the social handshake
Mm.
or like the minimal viable interaction that just signals, hey, I'm open to talking to you.
I like that minimal viable interaction.
It might seem super simple, maybe trivial even, but getting this step right is just foundational. Doesn't matter if you're at a work event, a party, or just, bumping into someone at a cafe.
So if that resonates with you, that feeling of wanting to be less awkward, more capable in those first few moments, stick with us.
Yeah.
We're going to break down how this guide suggests making small talk not just, manageable, but maybe even genuinely connecting.
Let's dive in.
All right. So the first big piece this guide tackles, it's probably the biggest hurdle for most people, right? Simply starting the conversation.
Oh, yeah. The initial approach.
You see someone you might want to talk to, maybe a colleague you haven't properly met or someone across the room at a party, and boom, the anxiety hits.
Totally. Your mind goes blank.
But the guide offers this really powerful counter perspective. It basically says starting a conversation is actually much easier than you think.
And the core principle it really drills down on for making a successful opening line. It's beautifully simple, actually. It just needs to be simple, friendly, and easy to respond to.
Simple, friendly, easy to respond to.
Okay, that's the filter. Everything else should go through that. You're not trying to be super clever or witty or impressive right off the bat.
No, you're just trying to invite them in. Make it easy.
Exactly. You're inviting interaction.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And the guide gives specific examples, which is super practical, tailored for different situations.
Yeah, the examples are key.
Let's walk through a few. Imagine, okay, a networking event. That can be intimidating.
Definitely. So picture yourself walking into that room, lots of people. Maybe you don't know anyone. What do you say? The guide suggests something like, hey, nice to meet you. I'm your name. How's your day going?
I like that. It covers all the bases right away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You introduce yourself clearly, which is important, and then you ask that classic, very gentle question, how's your day going?
Right. And almost everyone has a ready answer for that, even if it's just good, thanks, or pretty busy.
Yeah, it puts basically zero pressure on the other person.
Exactly. It's like the verbal equivalent of a little nod and a smile. It just opens the door without demanding anything heavy or complicated in return.
Okay. What else for networking?
Another great one for that same context is, hi, I'm your name. So what brings you to this event?
Oh, that's smart, really smart. Because it immediately uses the shared context, right? You're both there for some reason.
Exactly. You leverage the environment.
And asking what brings you here gives the other person such an easy way to talk about their work, or maybe their goals for the event, who they were hoping to meet.
It's an open question, but still quite specific to the situation. It invites a bit more detail, but only if they want to give it.
And it feels natural, too, like you're genuinely curious why they chose to be there.
Yeah, it's authentic curiosity. Or here's another scenario. Maybe you spot someone and you realize you might know someone in common.
Ah, the mutual connection.
Yeah. The guide suggests, hey, you know John too. How do you guys know each other? Obviously, substitute John for the actual name.
Oh, this is fantastic if you can use it. Taps right into an existing social link.
Totally.
People are usually pretty comfortable talking about how they know someone, and it instantly creates this little point of connection between you and the other person through that third party.
Right. It feels less like talking to a complete stranger.
Yeah, more like you've just found a shared branch on the social tree or something.
Exactly. It provides a natural starting point that you both have access to. Okay, let's switch gears. Imagine you're at a party now.
Different vibe. More relaxed, hopefully.
Yeah, usually a bit more casual. The guide offers this one. This place is great. Have you been here before?
Simple observation, simple question. I like it. You're commenting on the shared environment, the party venue, in a positive way, and then asking a question that's super easy to answer. Yes, no, maybe a quick first time here.
Low investment for both people. Very easy lift. Or, similar to the networking one, you can connect through the host.
Ah, the classic. So, how do you know Sarah, assuming Sarah's the host?
The classic party question. Everyone's there because of the host or someone who knows the host, usually. So it's expected, it's easy to answer, and it can actually reveal interesting links you might share. Oh, we worked together, or we went to college together.
And that can open up totally new conversational paths right there.
Instantly. And I really love this next one from the guide because it's so immediate and positive and specific.
Okay.
I love your jacket. Where did you get it?
Yes. The genuine compliment opener. It works so well.
Doesn't it?
It's not generic, like, you look nice. It points to something specific, something they chose to wear or have with them.
Right. It shows you notice something specific.
It's flattering, but not overly personal.
Yeah.
And it gives them such an easy opportunity to share a little story, maybe where they bought it, maybe it was a gift.
It just starts the whole interaction on a really warm, positive note.
Yeah.
People generally light up a bit when you notice and appreciate something about them.
Yeah, and complimenting an object, like a jacket or a bag, feels very non-intrusive. It's safe.
Very safe. Okay, one more scenario. What about somewhere totally casual, like waiting in line for coffee, sitting on a park bench, the kind of thing?
Right, just out in public. The guide has examples for that too, like this one. Wow, this place is always busy. Do you come here often?
Again, you're commenting on a shared, immediate experience.
Yeah.
To the busyness of the coffee shop, maybe.
Assuming it is busy, of course.
Yes. Context is key. And then a simple question about their routine. Is this a regular spot for them? Very low pressure, very context specific.
Or tapping into the sensory experience around you. Like, that coffee smells amazing. What did you order?
Perfect coffee shop talk. It's
Yeah.
right there. It's immediate. It's relevant to where you both are.
Yeah.
They could just name the drink. Easy. Or they might tell you why they like it, or maybe even ask what you're getting. It's focused on the shared activity.
Simple, relevant. Okay. And there's another compliment one that works pretty much anywhere, similar to the jacket.
Let's hear it.
I love your backpack. It looks really cool. Where'd you get it?
Just like the jacket. Specific, positive, invites a simple story about the object itself.
Yeah.
These kinds of openers are just gold, I think,
Yeah.
because they show you're observant, you're friendly, but you're not being overly intense or personal right away.
So what really stands out looking at all these examples from the guide is how perfectly they nail that core principle you mentioned earlier.
Simple, friendly, easy to respond to.
Exactly. They aren't complex sentences. They don't require the other person to do any heavy lifting or deep thought. And they feel natural, embedded in the situation you're actually in.
Right. They're designed to lower the barrier to entry, for both sides, really.
How so?
Well, they signal your willingness to connect in a low-key way, and they give the other person an easy out if they're maybe not feeling chatty, or an easy hook to grab onto if they are.
Okay, that makes sense. And this is where the guide kind of brings it back to you, the listener, right? It says that by having these simple, friendly openers ready to go, like in your mental toolkit,
Yeah, having them handy.
it makes the actual act of starting the conversation feel so much easier for you. You don't have to scramble or invent something brilliant on the spot.
No more freezing up.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You just need to pick the most appropriate simple line for that moment.
It transforms that moment of potential paralysis, that, moment, into just a moment of action. You have a script?
Not like a rigid script, maybe.
No, not rigid at all. More like a basic structure, a launch pad that just lets you initiate.
Okay, fantastic. So we've used one of these great openers. We've gotten the door open. The first maybe 10 seconds are handled.
Success.
But now, well, the conversation needs to go somewhere, doesn't it? What do we actually talk about after the "how's your day going" or "how do you know Sarah" part?
Ah, yes, the pivot. This is where the guide moves into identifying the best small talk topics.
Oh, okay.
It frames these as topics that are, and I quote, light, easy, and universal. Essentially, this is your safe zone.
Your go-to subjects.
Exactly. These are the topics that work in almost any situation, with almost anyone you're meeting for the first time. They're reliable.
Universal topics. So things pretty much everyone can have some opinion on or some experience with.
That's the idea. Think of them as, like, common ground presets. The guide lists some really reliable ones. First up, the absolute classic.
Don't tell me, the weather.
The weather. You got it.
It sometimes feels like such a cliche talking about the weather, but honestly, it really does work, doesn't it?
It works precisely because it's universally experienced. Everyone is experiencing the weather right now. It's
Oh.
constantly changing, which gives you something new to say. And it's completely impersonal. Examples from the guide are super simple, like, it's such a nice day today.
Or the opposite. Wow, it's really cold today. Do you like winter?
Exactly. You're just commenting on the shared physical environment, making a basic observation.
And it's such an easy way to get a reaction, isn't it? Even just a nod and it really is, or, I hate the cold.
Minimal risk, maybe minimal reward initially, but it keeps the conversational ball rolling. It fills that potential silence.
Okay, so weather is foundational. What's next?
Moving slightly deeper, the guide suggests hobbies and interests. This is where you start to explore their personality just a little bit more.
Okay, how do you bring that up?
The guide suggests questions like, what do you like to do for fun? Very open-ended.
Or maybe, have you been into any new hobbies lately? A bit more specific, maybe taps into recent activities.
Yeah, these are great because they invite the other person to share something they might be passionate about, if they choose to.
Right. They control the level of detail.
Exactly. They can give a short, general answer like, oh, I like reading. Or if they're really into, say, rock climbing, they might light up and tell you all about it.
So it's a direct path to potentially finding those shared passions.
That's it. You might discover you both knit, or you both follow the same obscure sport, or you're both trying to learn guitar.
And finding that shared interest, even a small one, can immediately deepen the connection way beyond just surface-level chat.
That's the real power of small talk, isn't it?
Yeah.
Finding those little threads that connect you. Okay, next on the list from the guide, current events.
Ah, okay. Newsy stuff.
Yes, but with a very, very crucial qualifier.
Yeah.
Non-political ones.
Okay, that sounds important. So news, but maybe not the latest debate from Parliament or Congress.
Definitely not. The guide gives examples like, did you hear about the new Marvel movie? It's getting amazing reviews.
Right, pop culture, safe ground.
Or maybe, I saw that Taylor Swift just announced a new tour. Are you a fan?
Okay, so big cultural moments, entertainment news.
This distinction is absolutely vital for small talk. Pop culture, major, widely reported events that aren't divisive, exciting announcements like a concert tour.
Things lots of people might have heard about.
Exactly. Topics many people have some awareness of and can have a relatively neutral or positive reaction to. They can spark enthusiasm, maybe shared excitement, without the risk of stumbling into deeply held, potentially conflicting beliefs right off the bat.
Yeah, you want to avoid anything that could immediately cause tension or awkwardness.
Totally. Sticking to, did you see that movie? Or are you excited about the concert? Is way different from, so what do you think of the government's latest policy decision?
Very different. The guide is smart to make that distinction crystal clear.
Extremely clear. Okay, next topic, travel. Another excellent, light, and usually pretty positive area.
Oh yeah, people love talking about travel.
Generally, yes. The guide suggests simple questions like, have you been on any trips recently?
Straightforward. Lets them share if they have.
Or the more hypothetical, kind of fun one, if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Ooh, I like that one. The daydream question.
It's brilliant for small talk, isn't it? People generally enjoy talking about their past vacations, sharing fun experiences, or just dreaming about future trips.
Yeah, it's a topic usually loaded with positive associations and potential stories, and that "where would you go?" question is fun. It's imaginative, gives you a little insight into their dreams or aspirations.
It opens up possibilities. You might learn about a place you've also been or a place you've always wanted to go. Instant connection point.
Definitely. What else is on the safe list?
Last one on the guide's main list. Food and drinks.
Can't go wrong there. Everyone eats. Everyone drinks.
Pretty universal topic. The guide recommends things like, do you know any good restaurants around here? especially if you're, say, at a conference in a new city.
Practical. And
Yeah.
shows interest in the local area. Taps into their potential local knowledge.
Right. Or just a simple, broad question like, what's your favorite type of food?
Simple, but can be quite revealing, actually.
Yeah. It might reveal cultural background, personal preferences.
Yeah.
It could lead to discussions about different cuisines, maybe cooking, or memorable meals. It's just a very accessible topic for almost anyone.
So the guide even includes a little sample conversation, doesn't it, to show how these topics can kind of flow together.
It does, yeah. It's a really simple one. Person A starts, "Hey, nice weather today, right?"
Classic weather opener.
Person B responds, "Yeah, finally. I love sunny days. Do you like summer?"
Okay, so B agrees about the weather, links it to liking summer, and asks A's preference. Nice little volley.
Then person A says, "Yeah, but I also love winter sports. Have you ever tried skiing?"
Ah, see the transition. A answers about summer, but then connects their preference for winter to a specific activity, skiing.
Exactly. It flows naturally from weather to hobbies interests. Just like that.
It really shows how these light, easy topics aren't just isolated points, they're like stepping stones.
That's a perfect way to put it. Stepping stones.
You use one to test the waters, see if there's a connection, and it might naturally lead you to another one. It's not like you're grilling them with a list of questions.
No, not at all. It's a gentle back and forth exploration. You're just trying to find a point of mutual interest, something you could both comfortably chat about for a minute or two.
So by sticking to this list of safe topics, weather, hobbies, non-political events, travel, food, you really maximize your chances of finding something easy to connect over.
Precisely. You're staying in that comfortable, low-risk zone where connection is most likely to happen initially.
Okay, so we know how to start. We've got a great list of safe, effective topics, good foundation. But, as the guide points out, knowing what to talk about, well, it kind of implies you also need to know what not to talk about.
Yes, absolutely crucial. This is the flip side of the coin, identifying the topics that are definitely, as the guide says, too personal or controversial for small talk.
The landmines.
Basically, yeah. These are the topics that can instantly make a conversation awkward, create tension, maybe even shut things down completely, especially with someone you've just met.
Okay, let's get explicit. What are the big no-nos, according to the guide? First one, politics.
Big red flag.
And the example question it gives is pretty blunt. Who did you vote for?
Yeah, don't ask that. Bringing up politics with someone you don't know well in most casual settings, it's incredibly risky.
Why is it so bad?
Well, political views are often really deeply held, very personal, and they can be highly divisive. Asking someone directly about their vote or their political party just puts them right on the spot.
Could lead to immediate disagreement.
Or just a really uncomfortable silence while they try to figure out how to answer, or if they even want to answer. Unless you're literally at a political rally or a debate club, just steer clear in small talk.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, next on the avoid list, money. Example question. How much do you make?
Oof. Yeah, another major taboo in many cultures, certainly in most English-speaking contexts for small talk.
Why is money talk so off limits?
People's financial situations are just considered very private. Asking about salary or wealth or even how much they paid for something expensive, it can make the other person feel judged or maybe defensive or just plain uncomfortable.
Not a good vibe for building rapport.
Definitely not. It has absolutely no place in initial small talk. Keep it out.
Got it. Third on the list, religion. The example is, what's your religious belief?
Similar territory to politics, really. Religious or spiritual beliefs are, again, deeply personal and often sensitive for many people.
So asking about it out of the blue is bad.
Yeah, in a casual just-met-you setting, it can lead to discomfort, maybe unwanted debate, or the person might feel like their core beliefs are suddenly being scrutinized. It's a topic generally reserved for much closer relationships or very specific appropriate contexts, like maybe an interfaith dialogue event, but not chatting by the coffee machine.
Right. Context matters. Okay, and the last one the guide mentions, which sometimes feels a bit counterintuitive maybe, personal problems. The example given is, you look tired. Are you okay?
This one is tricky because often it comes from a place of genuine concern, right? You notice someone seems down.
Yeah, you want to show you care.
But phrased like that, you look tired, it immediately makes an assumption about how they look or feel. And it puts pressure on them.
Pressure how?
Pressure to either admit they do have a problem, which they might not want to share with a near stranger, or pressure to kind of awkwardly brush off your concern, like, oh no, I'm fine, even if they're not.
So it forces an uncomfortable choice on them.
Exactly. Now, if someone chooses to volunteer, I had such a rough morning, That's totally different. You can respond with empathy then. But probing by commenting on their appearance like that in small talk, generally too personal, too presumptive.
Better to stick to the general "how are you?" or "how was your weekend?" perhaps.
Much safer. Let them decide what level of detail to share. The guide's core rationale for avoiding all these topics, politics, money, religion, personal problems, is simple and really crucial. It just helps the conversations be comfortable and enjoyable for everyone involved.
And that's the main goal of small talk, isn't it? To create a light, positive initial connection.
Exactly. Throwing in heavy or controversial topics just sinks that boat instantly. You got to stick to the sunny side of the street for small talk.
Okay, great. So we've got the words right. We have friendly openers. We have a list of good topics. We know what topics to avoid. Seems like we're set, but the guide adds another layer.
Ah, yes, a very important one.
It's not just what you say, but how you say it. The guide emphasizes that even with the perfect script, your delivery, your confidence really matters.
Oh, delivery is huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge. Your nonverbal cues, your tone of voice, they can completely change how your words land, how they're received by the other person.
So it's not just about the content?
Not at all. The guide offers some really simple, actionable tricks, as it calls them, to help you project more friendliness and confidence, even if you're feeling a bit nervous on the inside.
Okay, tricks sound good. What's the first one?
It's so simple you might almost overlook it. Smile when you speak.
Smile. Okay. Why is that so impactful?
Well, think about it. Smiling physically changes the shape of your mouth and face, and that actually makes your voice sound warmer, lighter, more approachable.
Huh. I never thought about the physical effect on the voice.
It's real. Plus, it sends that immediate visual signal of friendliness before you even say a word, and that warmth carries through into your tone. It's like injecting a little bit of sunshine into your voice.
And often if you smile at someone, they instinctively smile back, right? Creates a little positive loop.
Exactly. Instant rapport builder.
Yeah.
Okay, next tip from the guide. Use open body language.
Open body language, what does that mean exactly?
The guide explains it as things like having relaxed shoulders, trying to maintain good posture, not crossing your arms tightly across your chest.
Ah, avoiding the defensive stance.
Precisely. Think about what closed body language communicates, maybe being guarded, uncomfortable, maybe not really open to interacting.
Right. Looks like you want to be left alone.
Open body language does the opposite. It makes you look more confident, more relaxed, and much more receptive to conversation.
Yeah.
You look like you're ready to engage, not retreat.
So you're physically signaling, hey, I'm comfortable being here and talking to you. Makes sense. And related to that openness, maintain eye contact.
Yes, the guide calls this showing interest in engagement.
Why is eye contact so important?
When you look someone in the eye appropriately, of course you don't want to stare intensely.
Uh-huh. Right. Not creepy eye contact.
Not creepy eye contact. But making comfortable, regular eye contact signals that you are focused on them, that you're listening, that you value the interaction. It really helps build that sense of connection and presence. It shows you're actually there in the conversation.
It can feel a little intense sometimes, maybe, if you're not used to it or if you're shy.
It can, yeah. But practicing just finding that comfortable level of eye contact makes a huge difference in how engaged and confident you appear.
Okay. Smile, open body language, eye contact. What's the last tip?
Use a friendly tone of voice.
Okay. How do we do that?
Basically, it means avoiding sounding flat or monotone or maybe too serious. Try to infuse your voice with a bit of warmth, vary your pitch naturally, sound interested, sound pleasant.
Let your personality come through a bit in your voice.
Exactly. A friendly tone just makes the conversation more enjoyable for the other person, and it conveys your positive intention. It makes it sound, well, friendly, like someone they might actually want to talk to.
These might seem like really small details, smiling, posture, tone, but the guide really emphasizes that practicing these physical and vocal techniques is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, it states it clearly. Confidence makes small talk feel more natural and fun.
So it's not just about having the right words in your head.
No, it's about delivering them in a way that makes both you and the other person feel comfortable, feel positive about the interaction.
And I guess the great thing is, even if you have to constantly practice these at first, like reminding yourself, okay, smile, or uncross your arms.
Yeah, faking it till you make it almost.
Sort of. The act of doing those things can actually start to make you feel more confident over time. You get better reactions from people, and that positive feedback builds genuine confidence. It becomes a virtuous cycle.
Absolutely. It really works.
So bringing it all together then, this guide seems to boil down the key to mastering small talk into like 3 core actions.
Pretty much. It sums it up as start with friendly opener, pick an easy topic, and speak with confidence.
Simple formula.
It sounds simple, but within that simplicity, there's a lot of really practical, actionable wisdom packed in there.
Definitely. We've really covered the essentials today, I think, pulling out those core strategies from the guide on how to make small talk in English actually work for you.
Yeah, and if you've ever felt that that apprehension, that awkwardness when you need to start a conversation or keep one going, remember these points we've discussed.
Your tools, really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These techniques are designed to give you the tools you need to feel more natural, more confident, and yeah, genuinely more friendly in those moments.
So just to recap quickly, we talked about having those simple, easy to respond to openers ready to go.
Tailored to the situation, networking, parties, just out and about.
Like asking about their day, how they know the host, or giving a specific, genuine compliment. Simple ways in.
And then we explore that safe zone, the universal topics that act as your conversational playground.
Right. Weather, hobbies and interests, non-political current events, travel and food and drinks. Your go-tos for finding those easy connection points.
Just as important, though, we identified those conversational no-go zones.
The landmines to avoid. Politics, money, religion, and probing into personal problems. Avoiding those keeps the interaction light and positive.
Keeps it comfortable. And finally, we really stress the power of delivery, those simple physical and vocal cues.
Smiling, using open body language, maintaining that comfortable eye contact, and speaking with a warm, friendly tone.
Yeah, those things amplify your words. They make you appear more approachable, more self-assured, even if you're paddling furiously under the surface.
Exactly. Now, the guide doesn't just dump this information on you and say, good luck. It actually challenges you to use it.
Yeah, I love this part. It offers a really simple, concrete process for you, our listener, to put these strategies into practice, like starting right now.
Okay, what's the challenge?
It's 3 steps. Step 1, just commit to starting one conversation. Just one. Use one of the openers we talked about today.
Who should you try it with?
Could be someone easy first, maybe a friend you see, or a colleague you know casually. Or if you're feeling brave, push yourself a little. Strike up a chat with the person next to you in line, maybe the barista, someone new.
Okay, start one conversation, step 1. What's step 2?
Step 2. Once you've started, consciously pick a topic from that best topics list we discussed. Weather, hobbies, travel, whatever fits. Try to keep the conversation flowing naturally for just a minute or 2.
How do you keep it flowing?
Use follow-up questions based on what they say. Show you're listening. If they mention they like hiking, that's hobbies, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ask, oh, cool, where do you usually like to go? Or, have you been on any good hikes lately? Maybe that connects to travel. See how it links.
Yeah, listen and link. Okay, start, pick a topic, ask follow-ups. Step 3.
Step 3, and this is really crucial for learning. After the conversation, just take a few moments to reflect. And don't judge yourself harshly. Just observe.
Observe what?
Things like, was using that opener easier or harder than you expected? Which topic did you try? How did the other person seem to react? Did it feel like it flowed okay? What's maybe one tiny thing you could try differently or improve next time?
So it's about learning from the experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That reflection turns every single attempt, whether it felt amazing or a bit awkward, into progress. It's not about being perfect first time. It's just about practicing and learning as you go.
Makes sense. Practice and reflect. Now, today was really focused on getting the conversation started, keeping it light, keeping it comfortable, the foundations of small talk.
Right, the opening moves.
But the guide also touches on, well, what happens next? What happens when a connection is made? And maybe you want to move beyond just the surface level chat.
Yeah, because small talk opens the doors,
Yeah.
right? But building a real connection often involves sharing a bit more of yourself.
Yeah.
Your own thoughts, your reactions.
Agreeing, maybe disagreeing sometimes.
Yeah.
Expressing your perspective on things.
Exactly. Knowing how to smoothly move from nice weather, to something like, yeah, it reminds me of, here's what I think about some light, relevant topic, or even, oh, interesting point. I actually disagree with you on that, and here's why. That's kind of the next layer of conversational skill, isn't it?
It definitely feels like the next step up.
And the guide actually moves into this next. It talks about how to express your opinions clearly, but also confidently and politely in English.
Oh, interesting. So that's coming up.
Yeah, so look out for what comes next. It's designed to build directly on these small talk skills we've discussed today. It'll get into how you can share your own views naturally, and importantly, how to navigate those moments of agreement and disagreement, politely but assertively. How to hold your own in a conversation.
Sounds incredibly useful.
But small talk is that essential foundation. You need that first step to unlock those potentially more meaningful interactions later on.
So the takeaway for now is take that challenge, try using one of these openers, one of these topics, maybe even today or tomorrow.
Yeah, just give it a go. Pay attention to how you feel, notice how they respond, and practice those little confidence techniques, the smile, the open posture, the eye contact. See how it feels.
And maybe consider this as you go out and try it. All these techniques we talked about, asking about the weather, complimenting someone's backpack, knowing not to ask about their salary, they seem small, don't they? Individually, maybe
They
insignificant.
can feel small. Yeah,
But if you think about it cumulatively, they're really about making yourself an approachable, positive presence in someone else's day. They aren't just a random set of rules for polite conversation.
No, they're more than this.
They're like tools for weaving yourself into the social fabric around you, for creating these little micro moments of connection. And those moments, well, they can potentially lead to unexpected friendships, maybe new opportunities, or just richer, more human interactions with the people you encounter every day.
well said.
So the provocative thought to leave you with is, how might mastering these seemingly small steps of small talk actually pave the way for something truly big in your interactions, in your connections, maybe even in your life?
It's something to think about. Keep practicing, keep connecting, and try to enjoy the process. See you next time.